Did you think about walking on somewhere?
No, sir. Just because of also just financial reason. When somebody offers you a full ride, you pretty much take it.
Sure.
Especially where I come from. I live with my mom, but I was very fortunate. My dad was always in my life, so I didn't want to give her or my dad any financial hardships. So I decided to go to Fairmont, where everything was pretty much paid for.
Is that the big thing coming out of high school?
Yes, sir. Because I didn't think I would be here right now, just because of my experience, just playing 1 year coming out of high school. So I just took what was given to me, and I will never forget Fairmont State for what they did for me.
Sure.
You got the news that you were going to get to play this year. Can you remember what that moment was like and how it came down?
That second week of April was probably the best week of my life. I got cleared that week. My father got cleared that week from having surgery, and then I got a call that Tuesday that I was cleared because last week, the week before that, we submitted all the information, and you have to give them 10 days to reply. And it wasn't 10 days yet, so they had called me on like the 6th day, so I was kind of like scared and worried, but Steve said the third time's a charm, so I just broke down in tears and then called my dad and stuff, and then the first teammate I called was Gibby, and then we just started crying, and I told all the boys, and the coaches knew before I knew them.
A lot of times guys, if they have like an injury and they come back, they talk about having that perspective of not taking it for granted, knowing it can be taken away. Obviously a little bit different of a situation, but for a time there you weren't sure. Do you kind of have maybe some perspective in this fall camp that not to take it for granted, that you're thankful to be here?
Yeah, I have a big chip on my shoulder just because of not really playing, but also the injury. I went down after the LA Tech game, so really today was my first official day in full pads just in 9-10 months. So I cherish every day I go on that field. I always get emotional, and through this whole process, I've gotten closer with God and stuff. So every time I go on the field, I also pray, and then when I come off, I'll pray again.
Were you kind of planning a what-if scenario, like Canadian Football League, NFL training camp? Were you trying to think of like secondary situations if it didn't go your way?
Yeah, it's because we started this process January 2nd, and NFL teams kept calling, but all I could tell them was just gotta wait 2 weeks, kept waiting. So yeah, I did think there were what ifs, but the attorney said it's 50-50 every time with NCAA, so I had to weigh my option and just stay the course though.
Sure. You mentioned being cleared and your dad getting cleared. How emotional was just the health situation?
It was
let alone the NCAA situation.
Yeah, it's very emotional, and through my rehab process, I was glad I was able to be around the team because it was a very hard time because before we went to California for the bowl game, I actually almost lost my father to emergency surgery, which is a 7-hour procedure, and he was dead on the table for 10 minutes.
Oh wow!
So he had to have surgery that day, also mid-February, and then his last surgery was the first week of April. So it was a really hard time, and if I didn't have the coaches, that woman over there, Miss Annabelle, Coach Dee, it would be a very hard time.
Welcome back, Chris.
Thank you.
What do you personally want to bring to the running game this year? Everybody made a lot of talk last year about how the running game fell off later in the year. I know you guys brought to that personally.
Yes, sir.
What do you want to bring to the running game?
Yeah, we're very big on our run game. We don't want to be a mainly pass team. We want to be 50-50. Coach Garrison is very enthusiastic about the run game, and we don't want to be a team where we're very predictable just passing the ball. We want to be 50-50. We have Jordan Houston, Delbert, we got Turbo, we got Shark. We have a lot of people, so I think we'll be fine.
Watching from afar, you were around the team all that
Yes, sir.
year. So watching, what would you say was the biggest difference from the first half of the year when you guys were getting a bunch of yards on the ground, like later in the year where you weren't rushing as many for the yards?
I don't think there was really a big difference. We just had to adapt. I give big props to Derek Easton for stepping up when I went down, and Dylan McMahon for stepping over to the left. They did their thing, and I'll be thankful for that in this team.
You mentioned earlier that you played 1 year of high school. What were some of the reasons to? I'm guessing you were probably. How big were you as a junior or a sophomore?
I was probably 6'2", 6'3", about 240.
Just
I was
no interest in football.
Yeah, I was mainly a soccer and basketball guy.
Okay.
And then my grandparents, my grandmother on my father's side passed away from lung cancer, and my granddad on my mom's side passed away from cardiopulmonary disease. And they were both big fans of the Miami Dolphins. They love football. So, I mean, I kind of just took a shot and just playing football. The high school coach at Forest Park where I went. Coach Bruden always wanted me to play. At first, I started as a tight end that summer, and then he said, why don't you put 20 more pounds on 260 and just play right tackle for me? So I did that, and here I am now.
When did you kind of reach 300? At what point?
Probably my freshman year at Fairmont State, probably like that spring. My dad kind of called me every day, gave me a diet.
Anything you want?
Not anything I want, just because you don't want to be like just poop. You kind of want to just look defined and pretty much built. So, I mean, he's a chef, so he pretty much told me what to eat and what not to eat. He had me eating 5 full meals a day and like 3 snacks.
Okay. Conversely, what are you eating now?
I'm just maintaining.
Stay the same.
I'm just maintaining now, so I'll just probably eat 4 times a day, just little snacks here and there.
Sure.
Tight end in high school.
Yes, sir.
So before you got here, they threw some passes. They threw a pass to Icky. So are you going to Coach Garrison and Coach Beck and say, hey, I got
I just wanted to win a championship.
Soccer background, how much does that help as an offensive lineman?
It helps with your footwork a lot, and balance also. And that basketball also comes in, with that. Having good posture and balance with basketball when you're defending a player, that's a big thing.
Before you got hurt, how much did you see yourself growing last year? Where did you
Right when I stepped on this campus, we started just having individual drills, and Coach Garrison talked to me individually and told me what he had for me in a plan, and I just worked at it every day because I have a big chip on my shoulder just because of having no experience compared to everybody else.
What was the biggest difference? Speed of the game?
Not really the speed of the game, the size of the players. At Division II, I mean, you have your once in a whiles looking like Corey Durden and all that, but at this level, everybody looks the same size and all that. So it's just really the size, not the speed.
Sure.
Jordan just gave you a big compliment when we talked to him. He said, 6'4" is probably the strongest guy on our line. He makes some big holes. When you hear that kind of confidence when you're running back, when you hear that confidence when you're running back, what kind of confidence does that give you?
It's not really confidence, but also gives me trust that he trusts me, that he can run behind me no matter what, short yardage, break a long run. That builds trust, and I trust him also.
You're right beside Anthony Belton.
Big boy.
What is he showing you this camp?
He's smooth. He is really smooth. Yes. Big escalator. He is really smooth. For somebody being 6'6", almost 335, he's very fluent in his motion. Man, you don't see many people like that.
People are sleeping on him a little bit. He's a new guy on the line. He's going to get a lot of attention.
I don't think people are sleeping on him, but they're just waiting to see what he can do.